I said, Bill, no matter what you feel, if the situation does not call for drastic measures, I don't care what you feel. What do you feel if the situation is not there?
And then I came in and cleared my throat and said there was no situation, sir.
Well, prehistorically speaking, I would agree with you.
Say, what is your name anyway?
Jones. Jones is my name. I'm one of the Jones boys.
But it says right here on the pad, William F. Kenny.
Oh, that's my surname. They call me William F. Kenny for short.
I see. That's your stage name.
That's right. That's my stage name. You know, my grandmother gave me that name.
Grandwoman.
Grandwoman, that's
Yes,
it.
did she ever hear you sing, William?
Well, no, you see, she was a prize fighter, Bill, and she never had the time.
Never had the time, I
Never
see.
had the time.
Well, I used to have the time. In fact, my time went way back to about 39.
Oh,
Does that year mean anything to you?
it surely does, Bill. My time is your time. If I didn't care, would I drink this beer?
Bill, what do you think about that song? Do you think if you hadn't recorded that one, another one would have, well, you know, fallen into your lap, so to speak, and have made the big success of the Ink Spots? Or do you think it had to be that song, or it just wasn't going to be?
Well, Bill, I honestly believe that it had to be that song. I mean, possibly it's because I believe so much in fate. I believe that things are destined to be just when you're born. I think there's a certain map sort of made out that destined that you should do this or do that, and things just more or less fall into a pattern as far as your life is concerned.
Well, it's funny, Bill, when I get to thinking of that record, and then I go and hear you in the theaters today, I often say to myself, you know, when the boys play the guitar and you start to come in with a song, you get about 2 or 3 words out, and then down comes the house with the applause, and I say to myself, that's really quite a wonderful thing, because it was a dozen years ago or so that the song was a big hit, and here today, a whole new generation, and still they remember that song, and it means so much to them today as it did, well, yesterday, literally speaking.
That's true. You know, Bill, I get the same thrill today that I got years ago when I was first singing If I Didn't Care. And, well, I think it's quite an honor when people will sort of, well, tell their youngsters, well, the Ink Spots, Bill Kenny, he sings If I Didn't Care with the Ink Spots, and that was one of my favorite songs, and I think it's beautiful, and they sort of school their children, you know, into accepting Bill Kenny and the Ink Spots.
And that song, Bill, has certainly made you probably the most imitated fellow in the music world today. You can't turn on the TV set or even play a record going back even to the Glenn Miller days, and more recently, the Dennis Day on TV, they all get around and clear their throat and start to go way up high and sing about, if I didn't care, you know, honey child, honey lamb. Guess that song will never die, William.
You're right, and I honestly feel very good about the fact that there is a chance it'll never die. I think a song that can go on for 17 years, Bill, and still today it has the same effect on quite a few people as it did back when it first started. Well, I just think it's wonderful, Bill. There are no words to express it.
Well, I'm getting carried away with myself here, Bill. I don't want to confine our thoughts and our subject and perhaps our talk on this particular recording we're making here at your St. Albans home to one record, namely If I Didn't Care. There's been a whole carload of hits that you've had. Let's see, Do I Worry, Maybe, Whispering Grass. How many can I think of? The Gypsy.
Into Each Life Some Rain Must Fall.
Yeah, Making Believe, done with Ella Fitzgerald.
That's right.
What is your personal favorite outside of If I Didn't Care? Is there one that means a little something to you, or that you enjoyed singing, Bill, that perhaps never became the hit that If I Didn't Care was?
Yeah. Well, Bill, there have been a couple of tunes that, well, my own personal feeling in regards to them has always been that they were sensational, even though they didn't become the smash hits that, well, I sort of kept my fingers crossed for and hoped. But they sort of drift back in the past a bit, Bill. For instance, there's a tune that I did very recent called You Are Happiness that has sort of clouded over my feelings in regards to certain other songs of the past. Possibly Your Happiness has done that because, in my opinion, I think it's really a beautiful tune. As you know, I could be prejudiced, Bill, because I helped to write the song.
I thought I recognized the name on the label outside of Bill Kenny there in the small print, you know, where it says written by.
Yes.
Well, it's funny, Bill, mentioning songs that you've written. I know the first song that I ever heard you sing personally was one that I've always liked a great deal, and yet it never became a big smash hit. I Can't Stand Losing You that you wrote.
Yes, that's right, Bill. I Can't Stand Losing You is a tune that I wrote a long, long time ago when I was going to school, as a matter of fact. And I don't know, sometimes I play it now just for my own amusement. And I say to myself, gee, did I think that deeply back in those years when I was so young?
The tender age of 19 and
That's
20.
right.
Should have reserved some of those thoughts for our old age here.
Now, after all, Bill, we're both very young. You know that.
But seriously, Bill, I can remember that day very well. It was a Thanksgiving day in 1942 when I had heard your records for so long. I said to Mother that afternoon, my dad had to go to work. I said, why don't we go in and see this fellow Bill Kenny in the Ink Spots and see what they, well, sound like in person. So we went in there, and the house was crowded, and out you came, and that was the first song you sang, and so that was my first impression of you. And needless to say, if you could see my stack of Ink Spots records at home, that, well, I think a lot of them, and you and the records you've made, and the records I have, and I guess anything as far as the Ink Spots are concerned.
Oh, gosh. Bill, it makes me feel very good to hear you talk like that. You know, just, a couple of weeks ago, I sat down and I have a few of the records myself. I'm ashamed to admit I don't have as many as you do, Bill. I don't know what happened. I did decide a long time ago to sort of collect them. You know, they came out, but something happened, Bill, and I sort of lost track of some of them. But I do have a few, and I decided to put them all on tape, Bill. And strangely enough, I found that I could get on, well, a half-hour tape, I could get approximately 19 to 20. And I put 19 to 20 on one side and about 19 to 20 on the opposite side. And it really is, well, quite relaxing to play them, if only for the fact that I don't have to get up and continually change them, you know.
Well, like earlier this afternoon, Bill, I brought all the way from Boston so you could hear a few of them. Some of those old recordings, like I'm Still Without a Sweetheart.
That's right.
My Prayer, and some that go way back. And, well, as you just said, you know, you don't have in your own personal collection. I know June has often said to me, she said, I don't know if you keep getting more Ink Spots records and Bill keeps recording songs, and on top of that you keep buying duplicates of his records. She says, I don't know, one of us is going to have to move out, either you, me, or the records, little Barbara Jean, but somehow we'll find room for all of them, I guess.
I hope so, Bill. You know, Barbara is getting to be quite a little lady now, you know, and I know as she gets much older, well, there is a great chance that she may even herself decide to sing, you know. And if she does, well, if she either sings or plays, I sincerely hope that one of the tunes she will sing or play will be If I Didn't Care.
Well, you might say that we're schooling her properly because she sits in her playpen there and old Daddy runs over to the record machine there and throws on half a dozen records. And no fooling, she sits right in the pen there and starts clapping her hands like mad. I'm real encouraged by that sort of...
A true appreciator of the arts.
Well, I left my guitar in the other room, Bill, and I don't want to keep you anymore, so we'll sign off here. And, well, thanks for just starting this machine. We didn't prepare anything. We just started these spools are spinning, and we let the words fall where they may, you might say. But I guess they fell all right.
Well, I'm quite sure they did, Bill, because after all, we get together so very seldom. As you know, I'm on the way, on my way, rather, moving to other parts of the country half the time, and now and then we do manage to get together to talk personally, you know, which is much better than corresponding through the mails and through the telephone, or via the telephone, I should say. And, well, the fact that you're here with us for even such a short time kind of thrills us, you know. Audrey, she always says, when can we get Bill and, little Barbara, even though she is kind of a little tot yet, and her and June down to stay for quite some time. In fact, that's what we were looking forward to, Bill.
Well, today is May the 4th, 1953.
53.
And that's June's birthday, and, well, she just couldn't make it down here this time. It was such a short trip, Bill. It was sort of a hit-and-go thing. I'm here today, and I'm going tomorrow, you know.
I know.
And with little Barbara and so forth, we couldn't quite all get together this time, but we certainly will the next time.
All right, Bill. We're looking forward to it, too.
Okay, Billy, we're getting near the end of the tape, so do you know how to turn this thing off? I don't.
You know,